Good evening, and welcome to the You Don't Know What You Don't Know podcast. This is a podcast where we try to educate ourselves on the things that are important to the Black community, important to our future, and that we don't know. Tonight, we're going to wind down our current segment on Black Wall Street. Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the massacre is something that still lives on today. People that were involved, the people that were harmed, were never given reparations. We want to share our final research at this stage because it still hasn't been settled. The good news is there are still survivors from the Greenwood massacre. If you take a look at the photos, you'll see 3 people that have survived. My hope, my prayer is that in their lifetime, they will receive reparations for the wrong that was done to them in this United States of America by United States citizens on United States citizens, because that, my friends, is an atrocity.
I just want to mention one thing, that the governor of Oklahoma signed a bill that gave Trump a stretch of highway honoring him. And the same weekend that he signed that bill, he banned the teaching of how the massacre happened. Subjects like that, he banned in the public schools in Oklahoma that same weekend.
Well, you know what that does? That explains why everything is held up in court, why everything is going so slowly, because you have that 1921 mentality in 2021. 100 years did nothing to change it. You still have the person in control that's controlling in a negative way. He's given Trump a stretch of highway and he's banning the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Same thing that happened in 1921. Same thing, different day. No change. No change. No progress. But people need to wake up and see and accept. I mean, it is what it is. It's very sad, but it is.
It is sad. And people, I think, well, it's just amazing that even the people that lived in Oklahoma, one man was on there, middle-aged man, and he was saying it wasn't until 5 years ago that he even knew about this.
Mm-hmm.
He had never heard about it. And so he's become a warrior, trying to find out everything he can and trying to push to make sure that the people get what they should. They should be made whole.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Absolutely. So I have a sad confession. The first time I heard of Black Wall Street, I saw a picture, but it looked more like a Western picture, and it was the street, and it had the horse and buggies on both sides of it, and it was talking about how Black Wall Street was destroyed. And when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, here we go. And so I just dismissed it. But that picture, and it was a black and white photo, but it's still in my mind. It was like, I didn't have a clue. I came across it, but I don't even know. I wonder how many people have done that. Just not smart enough to see what it is or to even investigate, because that was me. And I don't even remember. It was more than 5 years ago. But like I said, I came across it and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Just another story.
And doing some of my research, it's my understanding that the people actually were threatened not to talk about it when it happened.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Threatened that it would happen again.
Mm-hmm.
And people actually did not talk about it. I cannot understand how I could be in my family And we don't bring that up. But the people did not bring it up. Kids didn't hear about it.
You know what?
We
I
taught
think
about
you
it in school.
I think you had to be there and to have the living hell scared out of you, that it was easy to not talk about. It was easy to forget about. You know what I'm saying? Because when you thought about it, it made you shake, just from having lived it. So it was just easy to bury, or easier to bury, but it couldn't be buried.
I mean, it's buried for 100 years. I mean, that's amazing to me.
But you know, it's like slavery. I know I could never have been a slave, but that's not the me, or this is not the me that would have been a slave, because I've been brought up in something different. Had I been brought up in that, when I know nothing but fear and nothing but terror and nothing but pain and hurt, that's a whole different me. So, you know, because I used to say, ain't no way yeah, it is, because there was nothing else, nothing you could do. You went along or you died, plain and simple.
Yeah.
So, and remember, we weren't too far removed from that either. That terror and that fear of slavery. So, you know, it was a lot still kind of lingering, and feelings and fear. And I believe fear is part of your DNA. Once you go through generations of it, it's in that DNA.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I don't have any scientific evidence, but that's what I believe.
No, but I mean, we know we're with our people, and we know the things that have influenced them, influenced the way they act, the way they respond to certain things. We know,
And I know how my dad acted. When white folks came around, my dad changed. Yeah, and I won't say he was afraid of them, but he changed. I won't say he was in reverence, but he changed when they came around.
And my grandmother, her thing was, girl, shut up, be quiet now. Be quiet. But she meant that. She meant that, be quiet. Because these people will kill you. That's really,
and not get in trouble. No repercussion for doing it.
And not get in trouble. Got that right. Tough times.
I'm just thankful that I do remember the fear in my father, and I do remember, and I call it fear, but I don't really know what it was, but I do remember seeing that in him, and I know he wasn't a fearful person, so it had to be something more to it. So I've always tried to be respectful of that, and when I say respectful of that, knowing that it meant something, knowing that it wasn't just, you know, he saw a ghost or whatever, knowing that he lived through something. So
it's tough times. It's tough now because, well, I'm glad to see people demonstrating in the streets, but I don't think it's enough of them. It's not enough.
I think it's it does anything. Oh, they want to protest. Let them go ahead and protest. After they finish protesting, they're gonna go somewhere and sit down, and everything will be all right. Except that now you have the agitators joining the protest, and that's where the problem comes in. But the protest itself, left alone, it's just people being upset about something. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace, and then they go sit down. So I'm not even for protest. I think that's it's a lot of energy in a protest, but it's wasted energy. Because at the end of the day, it means nothing.
You get nothing for it.
You get nothing for it.
You get nothing for it. Get
nothing.
Shot.
And you get accused of having something else. And like I said, the agitators that are, you know, like what we saw in LA with those people pulling up to those high-end stores and robbing them and stuff like that. Now you get that. because those people weren't part of the
Yeah.
protest. They just infiltrated, as they say, infiltrated the protest like protesters. So how do you distinguish one from the other? You can't.
Seems like the most powerful weapon we have is withhold our money.
You know
Withhold our
what?
money.
That's absolutely the most powerful thing we have. But you know what? To get a black person out of the mall, that's like pulling teeth.
I know. I know. And
Can't get them out of that mall.
That's what's killing us.
That's what's killing us. You'll go buy some Gucci where you know you can make something better. And I'm saying that we have the creativity, we have the knowledge, we have the talent, we have the know-how to make something that's 20 times better than Gucci, Fendi, Guess, all that other Michael Kors, all that. We can do so much better. We can have where people are after our product, but we don't do that. We constantly run after that nonsense, that raggedy stuff. So I'm hoping that one day we'll get to see our worth and see our creativity and support our own and build our own. And have, because you got folks that's trying to get perms and get their hair curled and wearing afros and all that other stuff. You want to have them, because that's not about money, but what you want to have them doing is buying your product. Your product is the hot thing, not Michael Kors. What would it, Chewbacca, whatever you want to call it. Chewbacca, that's the hot thing to have. Everybody want that. Everybody's standing in line for that, not the iPhone. They're standing in line for your bag, your dress, your shoes, your whatever. But we rather go give our money away.
Give it away and don't own nothing because you're too busy giving your money away. You're not putting the money together collectively, trying to build anything. We don't even think in terms of building our own. That's why I'm so proud of these communities who at least they're trying to build their own.
And that's what we got to catch up with our communities to see how well they're doing with that too. To see, and we have to find more, because I know there's more communities out there. We found 2 last year. Let's find some more communities so we can talk about them. And so we can let people know, because in my retirement, I'm moving to and or making my own community. But I don't want to live in the city. I don't, want to live around all the noise, the pollution, the crime. I don't want to live around that in retirement. So I'm trying to find some place where I can go and just chill and be happy and not have to worry about the color of my skin or the color of your skin, and not be mad at, I don't want all that stuff. I've spent my whole life living through that. I'm done. Now, one more thing I did want to mention, and I don't even know what the sentence and verdicts were. Ahmaud Arbery. So I have, and this is confession number 2, I have a habit of taking stuff at face value and being naive. So when this Ahmaud Arbery thing first happened, I thought that was the most horrible thing in the world, that this kid is out jogging, looking into a house. I might want to buy a house. Let me look and see what they're doing. Don't have anything, but out jogging. And somebody chases him down and shoots him. You see them shoot him dead. And then when they had the mother on the news and she said the guy that recorded it, he should be put in jail too. I was like, why would she say something like that? Why would she want him put in jail? If it hadn't been for him recording it, she wouldn't even know what happened to her son. That's the naive person in me. Then I find out this fool, it was all a hunt, and he was the recorder for the hunt. It was like, are you kidding me? In this day and time, we're hunting Black people and we're recording it. We have the audacity to record that. I don't know what's going on. And let me rephrase that, because I'm not going to say we on that. they had the nerve to hunt this kid down, shoot him like a dog, and record it.
And record it.
Man.
Now that father and son, they got life without parole.
Okay.
And the other guy, Brian, I think his name was,
the videographer,
life, but he's eligible for parole at some point.
Maybe, hopefully, in 25 years, because he'll be about 100 then. But it's
that was modern day stuff that always happened just a few years ago.
And you know what?
It's a common thing a few years ago.
If it had not been for the video and all that stuff coming out, nobody does that. Why would they hunt that man down and shoot him like that? It's got to be something else to the story. But there's nothing else to the story. That's what happened.
They did not want Black people in their neighborhood. That's what it was. Don't come in our neighborhood. Don't jog in our neighborhood. Don't move in our neighborhood. That was the problem. Don't come in. It had nothing to do with that kid walking into that empty house. Curiosity, like, whoa, this is how a house is built. It had nothing to do with that. Don't come in our neighborhood. Bottom line. That's what they meant. I'm telling you. And don't dare. What if he had moved in the neighborhood?
And they'd have burnt him alive.
They'd have burned his house down.
Now, my question is, are they going to go to jail and be heroes? The Aryan Brotherhood going to welcome them in? Is that how that happens?
Well, that is how that happens. They'll do more damage in jail when they get out.
What was that, Zimmerman, when he killed Trayvon Martin? And when he went to he moved to Texas, and they pulled him over for something. He was like, I got one of them for you. Bragging because he killed the kid.
Yeah.
But it's like, if he wasn't such an idiot, he might have been made a hero, but he was an idiot, or is an idiot.
He stays in trouble. You're always reading about something. Something stupid.
And that's what I mean. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what the jury that found him innocent, what they, every time they see him in the news, what do they think? Ooh, I made the right decision, or maybe I didn't look at the evidence closely.
And maybe they're okay with it. Because how they let him go. Ooh, I would say that jury is okay with it.
There's no doubt that he shot this kid. There's no doubt that the kid was not a threat to him.
Right.
There's no doubt that the kid wasn't aggressing on him, because he's on the phone to 911. They're telling him to leave the kid alone. That in itself, the fact that he didn't leave the kid alone, was an act of aggression by him.
Yep.
So,
and
I don't know.
Knew that.
I don't know.
So it make me think the jury would be okay with him. They're not sorry about their decision. No. We gotta, I know it sounds hopeless, but somehow we've just got to stay out of these problem areas. Not problem areas. We've got to stay out of the courts, because you just don't know. You can be ever so innocent. Ever so innocent. Trayvon wasn't doing anything but walking from the store. And this white man kills him and gets away with it. I mean, it's something. It's something, honey. I tell you. He wasn't even a policeman.
See, and that's what I'm saying. He was from day one, he was an idiot.
Yeah. And they backed him.
Mm-hmm.
The jury put him back out there in the communities.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be careful. We don't need to get in these courtrooms if we can keep from it, because you see what kind of juries. Well, for instance, this last case with the McElders and Brian, whatever his name was, one black person on the jury. Is that a jury of your peers? One black person.
It's a jury of his peers, and they had the token black person on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And for me, that whole thing, a jury of your peers, is if it's a bunch of like-minded people that think like you, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get off. And that's what he had. He had like-minded people. But I think this Ahmaud Arbery, I think this was just so blatant. But I think they're gonna find some kind of technicality to try to get him out. That's what I'm thinking. And you know what? I never did find out about that prosecutor. Like I said, it was something about the prosecutor. They were going to try to charge her with obstruction.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to look it up. How do you spell his name? Ahmaud. Prosecutor in Ahmaud Arbery case charged. Yeah. So a former Georgia district attorney has been booked on charges linked with the alleged mishandling of the case of Ahmaud Arbery. But yep, it's got her. Ex-Glenn County District Attorney Jackie Johnson turned herself in on Wednesday morning after a grand jury returned an indictment on counts of obstruction and violations of oath by a public officer last week. Johnson was released on $10,000 bail bond. Johnson was the county's top prosecutor when Ahmaud was fatally shot, and one of the armed men who pursued her had worked for her as an investigator. Ah, okay.
Oh, so that wasn't the prosecutor that did the trial then?
Oh, no.
Oh, I was gonna say, what in the world did she do?
But she was I think she was holding evidence. I was trying to see what it says right now. Father and son Greg and Travis McMichael armed themselves with guns and chased them in a pickup truck. After requesting an investigation of possible misconduct by local prosecutors who failed to bring charges in the killing. That's what they did. They didn't charge them. Remember, it took forever for them to finally get charged.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Where is Chauvin? Derek Chauvin. Where is he? That's the trial of the century. When he went to court and trial for the murder, execution of George Floyd. We want to talk about Ma'Khia Bryant. That was the 14-year-old that was killed by the police officer as she attempted to stab a young lady. We're going to mention again Ahmaud Arbery, who was hunted down like a dog in the streets and shot dead, and it was videotaped. We're going to talk about Ronald Green, who the police shot in the back of the head as he drove away. And also, we want to talk about, we covered wealth building and Black communities. We want to go back and recap and talk about building wealth with Brother Jeff was telling us about building a community in Georgia. And then we also talked with two ladies from the Freedom Georgia Initiative. And we want to see where both of those groups are for 2022 and how close they are to making their dreams a realization of building Black communities. All right, folks. this wraps up another episode. And remember, you don't know what you don't know. And if you think you do know something that we don't know, please drop us a line, put something in the comments, send us an email, because we want to make sure everybody knows what we need to know to move ourselves forward in 2022. Again, we want this to be a great year. We want this to be a prosperous year. We want it to be a healthy year. And we want this to be a safe year. And as always, Ben Sound, thank you for your lovely music. We'll chat soon.